Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll dive deep into Vodafone Idea, the telecom giant that's been making headlines. It will find out like if it's a hidden gem or if it is really a serious stock to get into. So as of last week, like Vodafone's Idea was trading at a price of about 7.6. Even today, the price is somewhere around the same price range. So it's 7.23. So there's a significant drop over 60% on the 52 weeks high. So the company has got a market capitalization of approximately 77,000 crores. So that makes it as a perfect mid-cap stock. So coming to the financial metrics of this company, the company's PE ratio is at minus 2.79. That's one of a very crucial thing to note because that indicates negative earnings of this company. The PB value, the price to book value is like again minus 0.75, reflecting the company's challenging financial position because they are in a very serious position now. So for context, if you happen to note the industry's average PE, that's roughly around like 115. That's the PE of the telecom industry. And coming to the technical analysis of this stock, you could see the technical value of the stock from the last few years. You can see that it's in a bearish phase, and the MACD of this is definitely in a downward trend, and suggesting that stock might definitely face up further pressure in the short-term corrections. And if you happen to notice the chart patterns, you could see that the current price is roughly toggling between like 13 and 15. That's their current value. They've got a very good support zone in like 12. So that's one of their support values. So we've got a support value which is in 12 to 13 range. That's going to be your strong demand area. So we've got a support value in this range. And the resistance is definitely in your 18 to 20s. So that's resistance which is happening in your 18 to 20s. So there we've got a resistance again. And if this breaks out, then we can definitely expect a bullish trend on this channel. And currently the MACD indicates that the stock is in a neutral zone because there is no buying or selling yet happening on this stock. And looking at the short term and the long term things, the short term 1 to 3 months of range, you can definitely see that it will be fluctuating between 12 to 18. And if at all there are any news which is like favorable, then there could be spike in the stock's value. So in the long term, 1 to 3 years, there is a high risk involved in the stock. And if the 5G rolls out really successfully, then they could expect a breakout and there could be a value of 30 to 50 in this possible range where it could go till this price. And you can see that happening. And looking at the fundamentals, the company's fundamentals are like really grappling because there's a very huge substantial debt on this company of worth 25 billion. So that's a huge number. And recently the government funded about 2.5 billion. So that 2.2 to be very precise, those that added up a little bit spike on the stock. You could see that there was a big boom on the stock recently. And we need to see how the investors are going to like invest on this stock. We've got like GQQ partners as well as Fidelity who invested on this stock. So once we see any returns from them, then we'll be able to see that. So coming to your institutional investments, like there is a critical indication here that DIAs and mutual funds have shown cautious optimism. You could see that like they have trimmed their positions here. And both FIIs have cut short their positions as well as the DIIs. So that adds up a little bit of skepticism into this. So the stock is really skeptical to get into it. And they just hold some portions of this. And the vote of confidence is like definitely reducing on the stock. That's a very important thing. And mutual funds holdings, if you happen to see them, they've reduced up their stake from 4.5 to 3.14. And some are holding, but they're reducing their exposure. That's the very important thing. Same is the case with your FIIs too. FIIs again have cut short their position because due to the debt concern of the stock has got a huge debt. That's making FIIs to be like really skeptical about the stock. And the big players are cautious on the stock, which means like retail investors should be. So we should also definitely be really cautious on the stock because the stock is completely owned by public. Like you could see that like 65% of the stock is owned by the retails. So that makes it like really operators control. So that could be like big giants in the market who are like taking control or positions of the stock and like manipulating the market. So you need to be really vigilant on this stock. Analyst opinions are divided. If you happen to see the analyst ratings, Citibank, they have given up the positions from hold to buy. So thereby they are just trying to make up their target price of about 23. That's the price they have given. And they are expecting it to go till 28. However, with such financial crisis on this company and with a lot of huge debts, one needs to be like really very cautious on their investment on this stock. If you happen to ask like if it is like worth to invest on this or should you invest on this stock, then with the current bearish trend happening on the stock and with very less short-term investors into it, it is better to stay away from stock like this. But on a long term, if you happen to see if you are ready to take up a high risk tolerance and if you hold that and with if there is any capital infusion from FIIs or from the governmental support, then this could again make the stock a really stabilized one in the market, and definitely Vodafone will be a buy. So in summary, Vodafone Idea is that it's crosswinds. Like you could like the recent fundraising effort was like brought in some significant changes in the stocks with a little bit of rally here and there. But if you believe that like this is not something for you and if you wanted to take up a safe bet, then it would be like advisable to stay away from the stock. For high risk investors, you could trade between 12 to 18 ranges. That could be a very good trade values. And if you're a long-term believer, then you can expect that to cross around like or go to at least like 25 to 30 range. If at all 5G rolls out and Vodafone happens to be successful on that. But it is better to avoid from these kind of stocks and try to get invested into other telecom giants like you could have Airtel or you have Jio and stuff. So it would be the best or a wise advice, or it would be like wise considering those kind of scripts. That's it for today's video, and remember, always do your due diligence before making your investment decisions, because these are some of the ideas or methods which I try to find out stock if it is really good or not. So if you find this video really helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay tuned. Bye.